And the government back in business after that shutdown over the weekend. What Montana senators are saying tonight.
Montana becomes the first state to reward internet companies for sticking with net neutrality.
And the flu has its grips in Montana. It's especially bad in the Flathead.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. Friends and family are preparing to honor the life of a Missoula man who was killed in a weekend avalanche.
Gallatin National Forest Avalanche Center officials tell us 46-year-old Raymond John Moe of Missoula was riding a motorized snow bike in Idaho's Island Park area outside Yellowstone Park when he and another rider from Missoula were hit by the slide. Authorities say Moe and another rider had gone about 15 feet off the trail up the side of a drainage when they triggered the slide that was up the mountain farther. The avalanche was about 600 feet wide and about 2.5 feet deep. Moe was the only rider buried in the avalanche. All the riders had emergency transceivers and rescue gear. This is the second avalanche-related death in the Fremont County area this month in that part of Idaho. There will be a celebration of Moe's life Sunday at 1 o'clock at the Wilma Theater in Missoula. Switching to weather, more rain and snow in the forecast for the week. With more on what we can expect, let's toss it over to Chief Meteorologist Erin Yost with a look at her first forecast now. Erin.
You know, a lot of us saw some scattered snow throughout much of the day today, including this evening. That has created for some slick roadways. We will see a lull in activity, though, overnight tonight and into much of your Tuesday before another system moves on in. Take a look at downtown Hamilton. A few of those passing snow squalls over the Bitterroots. This from our First Security Bank iCam earlier this afternoon. Again, still dealing with just a couple of lightly scattered snow showers. As we make our way into the early morning hours tomorrow, things will quiet down considerably as that drier air arrives. And that'll set the stage for a pretty quiet Tuesday with mostly cloudy skies. We've got more details on our next couple of systems coming up shortly.
New at 10 tonight, Libby lifting a long-time ban on pit bulls with the City Council voting down a breed-specific law.
MTN's Kent Lutzen joined us live with more on how this ban was put in place and why it's being lifted now. Kent.
Thanks, Jill and Dennis. Pit bulls are still causing controversial conversations in communities across the nation. Are these dogs dangerous or are they just misunderstood? Libby Police Chief Scott Kessel says the Libby pit bull ban was put in place in the mid-90s when this breed was believed to be aggressive.
Originally, as we know, it was bred for dog fighting, which is an illegal act in and of itself, as were other animals. Now, we're not living in that time. You know, the pit bull has entered the mainstream pet world.
Now that the ban has been lifted, Kessel says Libby's vicious animal ordinance is the blanket law when it comes to any type of dangerous pets in city limits. He is also hoping the lift will encourage Libby pit bull owners to get their pet licensed.
What I'm hoping to see out of this is those people who may have had pit bulls unlawfully within the city limits will now step forward and get them licensed, that sort of thing, because the purpose of the licensing program is rabies control.
The spark for this vote to lift the ban came from Libby residents who spoke out against breed-specific legislation. Jill and Dennis.
All right, Kent, thank you. The Libby City Council approved revisions to the city's vicious dog ordinance and will have that in a second reading next month. Today, Montana became the first state in the nation to safeguard internet freedom. Governor Steve Bullock signing an executive order requiring internet providers to commit to net neutrality principles if they're to receive state contracts. Bullock made the announcement this morning in front of a computer science class in Helena. The Federal Communications operation repealed national rules regulating net neutrality last month. Bullock says that by July, any company that gets an internet or data contract from the state must commit to never block or slow down lawful content or services or give favorable treatment to some content in exchange for payments. A number of internet providers immediately made statements promising to continue to follow those rules. Bullock said Montanans do expect a free and open internet.
What we're asking now is to make sure that more than just statements, that they will commit to that. So there are specific requirements of what they will need to adhere to, and also the information that they'll have to give to all Montanans when it comes to net neutrality.
Bullock also urged leaders from other states to make the same type of commitment for the betterment of consumers.
The full federal government is back in business with Congress passing a short-term spending bill after Democrats receive assurances a bill to protect young immigrants from being deported will hit the Senate floor in early February. Montana's U.S. senators remained on opposite sides of the vote today in the measure giving the federal government another 2.5 weeks of money. Republican Senator Steve Daines voted in favor, pointing out the short-term deal extends the children's health insurance plan for another 6 years. But Democratic Senator Jon Tester was among the 18 members who voted no, a move that put him under fire from GOP candidates hoping to unseat him this year and Republican Party leaders. But Tester says his vote had nothing to do with immigration and instead was an objection to the continued use of short-term budgets, which he says short vital programs in Montana.
This was about putting pressure on leadership and getting them to the table to quit fooling around with their budget and get something out there that works and works over the long haul. If my opponents want to criticize me for fighting for Montana, they can do that. I am not wired to sit back and say, we're just going to keep tolerating this nonsense day after day after day.
Most Senate Democrats joined Republicans to end the government shutdown while also providing access to health care for over 24,000 Montana children. It was pointless to shut the government down.
President Trump signed that spending bill this evening.
Montana is one of 13 states that's getting an F from Advocates for Highway and Auto Safety.
The group's annual report takes a critical look at states like Montana, which don't have mandatory laws for seatbelts and motorcycle helmets, as Danielle Nottingham reports.
From laws that stop texting behind the wheel to those that require all motorcycle riders to wear a helmet, safety advocates say states should be doing more to save lives.
We can't go 15 minutes without a single person being killed in a motor vehicle crash.
In 2016, more than 37,000 people died in crashes, up 5.6% from the previous year. 2015 also saw a jump. Advocates for Highway and Auto Safety just released a new roadmap, evaluating states on 16 traffic safety laws. Rhode Island, Delaware, Oregon, Washington, California, the District of Columbia, and Louisiana all scored in the green, with laws that enforce wearing seatbelts in the front and back seat, text messaging restrictions, and some restrictions on teen drivers. South Dakota and Wyoming were at the bottom of 13 states landing in the red. None has a rear seatbelt law or rear-facing car seat or booster seat law crafted for child passenger safety.
We urge state elected officials to use the findings in the roadmap report to introduce, advance, and pass legislation this year.
This group is also advocating automated enforcement, including speed and red light cameras. Melissa Wandahl lost her husband after a driver sped through a red light.
We have the technology to curb this deadly and dangerous behavior.
And advocates want to see collision avoidance systems in all vehicles, not just as a luxury upgrade feature. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The Big Arm Post Office remains closed as the State Fire Marshal's office continues to look into the cause of that fire that left an estimated $40,000 in damage. About 25 firefighters from multiple agencies tackled that blaze January 9th. They had it knocked down in about an hour. State Fire Marshal investigator Pat Clinch, who conducted the on-scene investigation, says they're still following up on several leads. Initially, it was thought the fire started inside the building. The closure is forcing customers to use the Elmo Post Office for mail pickup and delivery on the west side of the lake. The official cause of the fire is still unknown, and it could be a while before that investigation is complete.
It is Sex Trafficking Awareness Month, and the issue is a growing problem in Montana, one that is drawing more attention from law enforcement, especially during a conference held today in Kalispell. Officers, deputies, and troopers from regional area law enforcement attended the training led by Missoula Police Detective Guy Baker. Baker's been working sex trafficking cases for 7 years, training more than 1,000 law enforcement officers throughout the region in cooperation with the FBI. He says the goal of this training is to better educate and inform Montana's last line of defense against these crimes, those officers out on the street.
This is a crime that is supply and demand driven, and if there wasn't a demand in the Flathead Valley, it wouldn't be here. So the fact that it is shows that there is a demand and there's a segment of society that is engaged in this type of criminal activity.
There was also a free sex trafficking seminar for the community tonight that was held at Flathead High School.
On the entertainment front, legendary Northwest rock band Pearl Jam will be playing 2 shows in Seattle in August, but there's still no confirmation of another August show here in Missoula. The band announced Monday it would be doing 2 concerts called the Home Shows at Safeco Field on Wednesday, August 8th and Friday, August 10th. Rolling Stone is reporting the shows will raise at least $1 million to help fight homelessness, part of a campaign to raise $10 million to help with the problem in Seattle. However, today's announcement didn't clear up Friday's leak on the band's website, a post which listed a stop in Washington Grizzly Stadium in Missoula on August 13th as part of what would be Pearl Jam's first stadium tour in 5 years. The post was taken down a few minutes later. Pearl Jam's last appearance in Missoula was 5 years ago, but that was indoors at the Adams Center. However, with Montana Jeff Ahmed in the group, there's always great anticipation the band is about to make its next appearance. And again, we're still waiting for any official announcement if Pearl Jam does appear in Washington Grizzly Stadium. It would be the follow-up to those very successful outdoor shows by the Rolling Stones and Paul McCartney in recent years.
A lot of people excited about the possibility of this happening.
And right now, I tell you, an August concert seems like it's really hard to even visualize with the way the weather is right there. Aaron is coming back with a look at the active forecast for the rest of this January week.
Plus, we'll take a look at some headlines from around our country. 5 people missing after a major gas explosion in Oklahoma. More ahead here on KPAX.